Howdy, friends. We got a mid-August 2023 update here. So we're just continuing on with the rough-in electrical here. This one, I'm just pushing some wires up to I think one wire goes to the middle bedroom lights right there. I can't remember what that other wire was for, but one of them's going to go up to the front end of the house for the outdoor lights in the front end. Just continue to work on that. We'll also do some more drywalling. Obviously, I just took a piece of drywall off there. I just put 3 drywall screws in it just to hold it up in place, just to make it look like it's kind of done there for now. Roughed in, but we were able to take it off so that I could work on the rough-in electrical here with that 4-gang box. It's going to be a pretty big control center in there, but I will talk about that in a little breakdown after we get all these wires secured. But yeah, just trying to get little by little done. I feel like I haven't done too much this summer. I mean, obviously I kind of have with a lot of this drywall getting put up, but just work on it a few hours here and there, and then go to work, and then I'm sore, so I take a day off. But it's how it's been this year. But we'll get there, just as long as I get the bottom end all sealed up, so it's not as cold in here this winter. But I think having all this drywall in will definitely help with keeping it a little bit warmer in here. And now that the roughed in supplemental heat registers in the bedrooms are in. I don't have my electrical panel up yet, but we'll be getting on that probably in the start of September is my guess, that I'll do the rough in for that electrical, or the final install for the new power panel. And then we can finally utilize all these roughed in wires that I'm putting in. I think next, after I get all the drywall done and the plumbing up from the bottom, then I'll put the switches in to these gang boxes, and it'll feel a lot more complete once we get to that stage. And right there, we're just making a hole and putting a little box for the porch light there. I did almost forget that, but I'll talk about that here in a second. So welcome back, and hope you enjoy this. All right, that was a nightmare. That wasn't too bad. Just a little rough, but not rough and electrical. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, so yeah, we got all sorts of wires. I just did 3 wires coming down from each side, and then I almost forgot that I had to branch off the power going to the front lights and the front, outside front lights, and then connect them to one that will be by this door. So I almost forgot to put this one in there, which I probably talked about a second ago, who knows. So yeah, so we have, we'll say one is the main power coming in, and it's going to feed everything. And then we have one going out to the kitchen lights, and then the living room lights. And then we have one here going to the hallway, one going into the power. It'll be a power for the switch in the middle bedroom. And then we have the front lights on the outside, and then the door light here, we're assuming. So we got them all wound up in here, and we'll hopefully have enough room to fit all that in there with the switches. But we'll cover this up now with insulation, put some vapor barrier on there, and put the drywall on there with more than 3 screws in it, and be good for this section for now. Yeah, so we got all that enclosed there, and I ran out of the craft paper backed vapor retardant, so I just use a piece of thin plastic there to cover the gaps. And what I'm doing here is I got a piece of 3/4 inch sheeting, and just cutting it, I think is about 1 foot long. And so just cut 2 or 3 of these out of this piece of plywood, and we'll show you what I'm doing here. Yep, and there's the bump out threshold, and up top is the metal beam that holds the bulk of the roof weight, or all the roof weight, and ceiling weight inside the bump out as well. And if you can see on the left side, you can see those little metal brackets. If you've seen my older videos on that, it was basically transfers the load of that ceiling 2x4 onto that metal C channel. And it was a little complicated, so I had to do some measurements to figure out where, because there's only one little hole through the big C channel to go bite into a 2x4 on the other side of that C channel. And so I had to find the precise point there so that I could drill through and then put a wood screw through the 3/4 inch plywood to hold that tight up against the C-channel, which also it will help when I screw it into that and then screw it into the ceiling 2x4 on the ceiling for the bump out. It all helps it tie into each other, so just everything strengthens off each other. So it was just a little tricky to get those done. There's a few times that I had to squirrel the drill bit around to find that hole, but we got her done. And then I just I think that was a 3/8 inch sheet, opposite cuts. So we had 8 foot on the right side going to 4 foot on the last piece, and then we overlapped it going to the right. So it worked out pretty well. I think in the original configuration, it was either 2 1/2 inch sheets or 2 3/4 inch sheets making that span. But for some reason, it made a better filling for just 1 3/4 inch sheet and then a 3/8 inch sheet. So I had them, so it worked out. But then you can see I've moved on to the drywalling the bump out section here. It's kind of a pain because I had so much of my stuff crammed into the bump out here, so I had to get out and move everything, and then I had to put the little nail plates on the corners there so that the drywall has something to bite into on each side. And then this little piece was a little bit too far, but we cut out the window section, and then I figured I'd put it up, and then after the fact, since it's a corner there, I could just measure it with that little straight bar or angle, and then just cut it and break it off. So it made it easier there. And we're putting up some new pieces here, and I was just about to run out of drywall through here in this back end section, and I think I have one more piece to put in the hall to complete that off that we'll talk about here in a second. I didn't put any drywall up around the, it's as high as I went, and then I didn't put any around the mini split yet because it's just complicated, because you can't just pull that off the wall and put it back because you have the line set going through the wall. So I got to figure out a way to, unscrew it, but have a little bracket, or either another person ideally to hold it in the air while I get something behind it, or just being that I'm solo working all the time, that I'll just make like a something that can hold it in the air, a little bracket. So we'll figure that out when the time comes. But right here we're just finishing all the walls in from what I could, and I think I miscalculated on that section, so I had to pull it away and then retry it, but we got it in there to fit pretty good. But we'll give you a little breakdown of this section and the wall over here, and hope you enjoy that. All right, y'all, we're getting ready to do the drywall fascia on here on the bump out header, and I just wanted to show you this section before I cover it up. This is probably the most non-square section of my house. When I built the shear wall here for the bump out, somehow I bolted it down about an inch or about 3/4 of an inch too far this way, and you can see at the top of the top plate there that sits on top of the metal beam that goes across, there should have been just a little gap at the top and the bottom where this drywall from this wall meets up. But obviously you can see I had to double up the drywall here to go down through here to level it out, give something to bite on here without pushing this drywall in too far. And you can see there still is a little bit more of a gap here, but so it's tight right here, just not up here. So I'll screw the drywall in up here, have it sit down, and then I'll put a shim as far as it needs to go down this way, and they get tapers, levels, goes to square at some point, maybe around here. So then we'll just make a shim a little bit skinnier and skinnier as it goes, and then that end I think is much better, but or at least closer than this end. But I just thought I'd show you that before we make it look like everything's square. And I guess that's how you do when you do all your finishing work, hide all your imperfections. So anyway, there's that. Okay, I guess I was wrong. We didn't explain the haul yet. That's coming up in this break. But yeah, just threw up the sheets of drywall on the little bump out here threshold, and they work pretty well. I'm just screwing the top end section now so I can put the shims in on the bottom part and then get it squared off later on, which I think it's about where I'm at there. It's pretty square, up, vertical level. Don't have to put any shims going in that direction, but here's the hall breakdown here, so enjoy. All right, so just getting ready to close up this section here of the hall in the laundry section area, but I had to finish some rough in electrical here. Got a 2-gang box right here. So we have a main power that comes in, and then it's going to, main power comes in, but I also have a power going out that goes across, and I think it ties in, oh yeah, it does tie into the light box over there. So, because since lights don't draw too much energy, I'm gonna put those lights and these lights on the same breaker. So yeah, so main power in, one power out. Then we have a power that goes out down below that I think just runs a outdoor outlet as well out here. And then we have one wire going up for the hall light, which I think I might have 2 lights in here in the hall. And then one power that goes out here for this outdoor light. So I just put this bracket in here. So yeah, so that's how that one works. So yeah, so in power, out power for the front lights, hall lights, and the back door light. So put this insulation back in here, get some vapor barrier up, and then put a piece of drywall here, make it look pretty. All right, finally finishing up the wall in the hall there with my last piece of full sheet of drywall for now, but I'll pick up some more to finish off the house. But I'll leave you off here with this one. It's just me and baby snuggling on the couch. And not to steal anybody's valor, that is a War Horse Iraq shirt, but I got that from my cousin who spent 3 tours over there. So anyway, hope you like, and if you do, subscribe. Take care.